Hello, you guys. It is Crystal Lopez here from crystalandcomp.com. How are you? I'm going to show you how you can take these simple, basic ingredients from your fridge, pantry, or freezer, and we're going to turn it into something incredible, just like this. Absolutely delicious. It is going to wow your family. One of my kids is still talking about it. This is what it looks like when we plated it up. It's a recipe that came from Christine from Frugal Fit Mom. I saw her in this video right here where she was making it, and I thought, oh my goodness, how simple and how delicious. That's something that I love about her recipes is how simple and delicious they are. Or delicious they look, but now I know they are delicious. So I actually elevated this recipe a little bit and had to make some adjustments and modifications because in her video, she used a can of pre-made spaghetti sauce, which is great. And usually I have that kind of thing on hand, I buy extras, to keep on hand in my pantry. Um, but this time I didn't. But I did have some tomato sauce. So I took 2 cans of tomato sauce and the spaghetti seasoning that I buy in bulk from Sam's, and I used that to make my own mock spaghetti sauce, right? Which I use that seasoning and crushed tomatoes to make my homemade spaghetti sauce. But I do buy the jarred stuff to have on hand for, to make recipes simple whenever I'm in a pinch. All right, now here are the changes that I made to it. I think you can totally follow her recipe 100%, and I bet it is incredible. But here are the ways that I elevated it just a little bit. So anytime I'm cooking something savory, if I have garlic and onion and olive oil on hand, I'm putting it in there. I just can't cook without it. I can't. So I had half of an onion in the refrigerator and I chopped it up. And then I've got like 3 cloves or so, maybe 5. I don't know. We put enough garlic in our food to ward off the vampires, but um, we love garlic here. I think I ended up with 5, and we're just going to chop it up as well. And I'm going to cook that ground sausage in olive oil, onions, and garlic. So as I am on a mission to find the cheapest ways to cook for my family, and I'm telling you, the meat is the killer. Like the meat is what is costing so much. Oh, and I had a few mushrooms in my refrigerator still, so I grabbed, what was that, 3 or 4 of them, and sliced them up and added them to it. Not a necessity, but it just elevated it a little bit, and I had them on hand already, so it wasn't a big deal. All right, so we're gonna get that onion, garlic, olive oil kind of sauteing and getting, the flavor and fragrance coming out, and we're going to use that as our base before we cook our sausage. But what I was going to say is the meat is what just kills your budget, right? And it feels so impossible right now to cook for, especially my size family. I have 5 of our 9 kids still live at home. They are all boys, ranging in age from 19 down to 8. And it's a lot to feed a big family, plus myself and my husband. So I feel like it's super impossible right now to feed our family of 7 for under $10. And the budget buster is the meat. And so I've really been trying to focus on ways to be as creative as possible. Like my focus has been when I go into the store, what are meats that I can buy for $5 or under? And even if it's not a ton of meat, we'll stretch that out and it will be part of the meal and not the whole meal. So part of what I love about what Christine from Frugal Fit Mom and Julia from the channel Julia Pacheco, what I love about what they do is they really think outside of the box when it comes to the meats, and they use a lot of like sausage that you buy that you wouldn't typically think to cook for dinner, or they buy the different varieties of turkey that come in a tube and whatnot. So I had seen Christine and I've seen Julia do this as well, where they take breakfast sausage. And to me, in my mind, that's been marketed to me my whole life as breakfast sausage, right? So, what I think is so interesting is where they take breakfast sausage, ground breakfast sausage, and use it as their meat for dinner. And I recently purchased this on a quick haul to HEB grocery store, and I paid under $4 for a pound of ground sausage. Now, I could have gone and bought ground sausage that was over near like the Italian meats and stuff, and I would have paid about $1 more for it. I don't know why I've never thought to use breakfast sausage for our dinners. I can tell you this was really, really good and it's doable. It is an alternative. It is something that we should be considering. I have no problem cooking with ground turkey. I really enjoy ground turkey. I've actually, over the last handful of years, have been more inclined to cook with that, opposed to ground beef, although we do still cook with ground beef. But I just want you to be thinking outside of the box. So even though I've been cooking for over 26 years, here I am at a place where I'm like, never thought to do that. In my mind, ground sausage that's breakfast sausage is for breakfast, right? But here we are learning something new every day. That's what I love about YouTube, learning from others and just sharing ideas. So we have got this browned at this point, and I did add a little bit of that spaghetti mixture, the herb, what is it called? Seasoning, spaghetti seasoning. I also waited until the beef or the sausage was almost completely browned to add the mushrooms, and now they'll start to cook down as well. But the onion and garlic are super fragrant at this point and just delicious. I've got water boiling for our pasta, and I just grabbed a pasta that I already had in my pantry and called it a day. Like, it doesn't matter. Use whatever you have. So here I am adding, we want to make sure that this meat is flavorful. So, I mean, I'm sure it's fine without the spaghetti seasoning. Um, Christine didn't put any seasoning in hers. I don't even remember if she put salt and pepper, and hers looked incredible. But if you just want to elevate it a little bit and you've got the seasonings on hand, add them in there or add salt and pepper. This is 2 cans of tomato sauce, and then I put a little water in there to get the excess out of there. And we're just going to get that mixed up really well, and we're going to now season the sauce itself. So we seasoned the meat, and now we're seasoning it a little more for the sauce. We want to make sure that all of those flavors mix together really well. And I'm going to move it to simmer at this point because the meat is cooked. It's just a matter of letting all those flavors come together. It was really good. All right, our water is at a boil, and I'm going to add, I used rigatoni. You could use penne, you could use bow tie, you could use elbow. Use whatever you have. Don't overthink this. Don't make it overcomplicated. All right, now Christine added a block of cheese. I can't remember what kind of cheese she said it was to her sauce, and I didn't have any. I didn't have any cream cheese. I didn't have, any block cheese of any variation that I could throw in there, but I did have some mozzarella. But that's what I was going to use. It had been in my freezer and I had defrosted it recently when I made those raviolis, that ravioli dish, when I was cleaning out my freezer. And we drained the noodles and we're going to toss that in there. So I need to use that up before it goes bad, the mozzarella cheese. So that is what I used instead, and it was perfect. But use whatever you have. I'm sure parm would have been good, whatever. So we're going to get the noodles completely coated with the sauce and the meat and all of that goodness, get it stirred up really well. And then we're just going to start adding some shredded mozzarella cheese to it and letting it melt. And you could do it just to the top and then put the lid on it and let it kind of all melt. But I wanted to get it fully coated on all of the pasta. So I added some and stirred it all up. Look at how cheesy, ooey gooey that is. So good. It was just such great flavor. Absolutely loved it. All right, now I needed something green to go with this. I could have opened a can of vegetables. Honestly, I just wanted to get dinner done. I was tired. I was ready to be done. So I wanted to use up, I had some romaine lettuce. Remember, I made that a couple of days ago, and we've been eating on it and making just salads to go along with our dinner as a side. And now I'm going to use up, this needs to be used up before it starts to go bad. So I am going to take it and add some Caesar dressing that I have. It's the last little bit that I had left. I put it all in there. And we're going to make our own Caesar salad. So listen, I am all about the simplicity and the, that is an Italian seasoning, an Italian herb seasoning that is on a grinder. So I just added some of that. I'm all about the convenience of bagged salad, but I'm telling you, when you're trying to watch your money, the bagged salads will get you. They are a lot, they are very pricey. So, unless you can find them on sale. So, if I have that big bag of croutons, which is like $5 at Sam's and it will last us 4 months probably. I've got the big bag of shaved cheese, which is so good. And I think it's about $9. It lasts me a month. I put it on top of different things. I have that Italian seasoning, plus I have the ground pepper. And then the salad dressing is like $4 or $5, and you can get probably 8 salads out of that. You really are saving money. And our lettuce, we can get 6 heads of romaine for $3 and some change. As long as you're going to use all of those things up before they expire, this really is a great way to make your own bag salad and save money. All right, guys, this was flavorful, delicious. The kids loved it. I loved it. And it wasn't chicken. One of my 11-year-old has said, Mom, we're having chicken upon chicken upon chicken. He's said that a couple of times. Chicken's cheap, guys. But here is a way to make a delicious dinner that isn't chicken, that's full of flavor, and won't break the bank. I'm so glad that I seen this original recipe over at Frugal Fit Mom. Christine made it. It's her idea. I love it. I just took it and elevated it and made it for my family. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Let me know. How are you saving money on your grocery bill? I want to know. All right. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.